Thank you for watching the TDC Hot Rods YouTube channel.
All right, so on the 65, I got the Crown Vic headlight switch here and the dimmer. So I've been thinking about it. Let's walk over there. I didn't really want, let's look here. I have Crown Vic steering column, AC controls, and gauges, but it's gonna be around the factory bezel as soon as I'm done, well, as soon as I get some stuff for that. And I had thought, like, yeah, I could put it there, I could put it there, but I just didn't like the look of it at all. Like, not even a little bit. Well, all of these are actually just gonna be dummies. They're not even doing anything. But the headlight one here, I was like, I think maybe I could figure something out. Well, I got an idea. I think it'll work. I'm almost certain it'll work. So here's my idea. So I took the ignition switch apart, realized this piece slides into there. Let me set my phone up here so then hopefully I can explain this a touch better. Okay, so this knob slides in there and it's got some pretty good pressure. Like, it's definitely not just gonna fall out. So my idea is, and hopefully you guys aren't upside down. Maybe, there we go. My idea is take this original portion of the ignition switch off so we can reuse this framework and figure out how to mount this portion of the Crown Vic ignition switch to this metal. Not exactly sure how I'm gonna do that part yet, but what I did kind of figure out is this is the factory knob off the 65, and this piece threads into here to, like this threads in to clamp it to the dash. So if I slide all this on, if I take the factory Crown Vic knob, cut back down in here, get rid of this, so then the only thing that's left is this outside plastic piece, slide it onto here, glue it on there, but it would be this way, be glued on there, and then that could slide all the way through here, of course with all this stuff gone, and it would slide right in like so. And on the outside, you could just twist this and it would look all like the original 65 stuff, but with the new Crown Vic light switch. So I don't know exactly how I'm gonna do this yet, but I just wanted to explain that. So I'm gonna start cutting this stuff all apart so then I can figure out what I'm gonna do. And when I figure it out, turn the camera back on and show you guys. All right, so here's what I come up with. I think that'll look pretty sweet. So this is all the factory bracket to here. It's all the factory bracket. And then inside here, this piece used to come out here farther. It used to poke out here. I cut it off, ground it down, shoved it in there. So then if you look, there's this clip right here. Yeah, I clipped it. Oh, there you go. That's a factory clip on the headlight switch. This cut here lets the factory clip snap in. And then I just wrap this piece of strap around it, which hits this factory clip and this factory clip. And this one, you can push it in and out. So you push this one in, put a screwdriver in here, and you can remove the switch and replace it. Hopefully I didn't twist that around on you guys too much, but you get the idea. It's really simple. And then here, oh, this piece here is the factory piece off the knob that slides, oh, I'm getting urethane on me, that slides inside the switch. So I cut the original 65 shaft here down to my desired length of what I wanted. And then I cut apart the factory Crown Vic knob, slid it on there, packed it full of window urethane, drilled a hole in it, and as you can see right there, I put a cotter pin in, ground it down, so now when I put it in the truck, I can slide it all together, give it a twist. I don't know if you guys can hear that. That's operating the factory Crown Vic switch. I can tighten this up and it all looks completely factory. Okay. There's the finished product. Crown Vic ignition switch. Ta-da! Can't pull it out, can't push it in. All you can do is twist it. Next thing on the agenda is we got this stuff painted all up. It's all seam sealed, painted all the way across. Well, when I put the cab to the Crown Vic firewall, this factory mount here, I had to cut it off on the hinge. So we're building just a little plate that'll go from there to there. I'll drill a hole and bolt the two together. Really simple. And then got the front clip back off. And this is just a starter hole. I'm going to make this hole much larger, probably 3/4 or so. So then you can move the front clip around and adjust the front clip where we need it. So I'm gonna make that hole bigger, round off both on all these edges so it's nice and pretty, clean up stuff like this. Gotta do that on both sides. And then in here, the frame rail, need to weld a nut on the back side. So then when we go through that into the frame, it has somewhere to attach. And then we're gonna cut hole plates and cap the front of the frame here. Yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna do now. Oh, and this is the factory radiator mount. I need to push the radiator back so it's not like this, but it's sitting straight up and down. And it has 2 holes in it. So I'm just gonna drill some holes in there and tap them and throw some bolts in it. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do now. Get all that stuff done and clean all this stuff up. And then, doesn't that look a lot better? So we got the caps on the front of the frame. They're all welded up. Looks really nice, turned out sweet. I put some paint on everything just so it doesn't rust out. Got the bolts for the front clip on there. Rounded these all off nice and pretty. Ground everything down. Anyways, did everything I said I was going to. But there is my new mount for the hinge. Anyways, looks sweet. So now we're going to, what are we doing again? I think we're almost ready to, oh, check this out. With all the junk down in there, pretty great. This was packed full. So we're gonna clean all this out. And then I think we're almost ready to put the front clip on. So that's what we're gonna go ahead and do. Voila! Well, we had a couple little small problems, not a big deal. My adjuster slot that I have right here in this piece of angle iron for adjusting the front clip back and forth, I measured just like this much off. So we fixed that. The nut cert, or the nut clip that was right here to hold the front fender on there, was stripped, but we had another one, so I got that done. So now you guys gonna see, oh, look at that. Look at that. Isn't that freaking sweet? That is picture worthy right there. So, what was I gonna show you? Now, I got pop this open. Come on. I got this side done. The fender liner is up in there. I got one bolt there. And then, this was my dad's idea. we put just like a fender washer with a bolt that goes into the frame. I am going to heat this up and push it back like this so it'll stay. But that's freaking super sweet. So one thing I did on this, but you guys can't see it, so I'll show you on this side. The wiring harness that comes up to the front core support, it runs over here up inside the fender liner. Like you can see the wires there, so they go up on the inside. Well, on the Crown Vic, it has a perfect little slot that it literally sits right here. The harness does, it just stays there perfectly fine. It probably could do that on this, but just for precaution, I drilled some holes in here and I put the wire on there, and then I just zip tied it in all those spots just in case it wanted to fall out. I don't know that it would, but I went ahead and did that anyways. So that will hold this harness that comes up here to the headlights and horn and all that other fun jazz, and over to the blower motor and yada yada yada. But yeah, so that's what I'm gonna do now, is I'm gonna put that fender liner in this side, and then I'll show you my dad come by. Thanks, Pops, it's super awesome. And you can see here where he heated it up and just pushed it back a tiny bit there and there for the battery box. And he modified the battery box a little bit. It's nothing too crazy that nobody else can do. So when I get to that step, I'll show you guys. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and put that fender liner in. All right, there it is. It's in there. So what my dad did, I didn't have anything to do with it except for install it, oh my gosh, sorry, I got distracted reading a text from Parker, by the way. If you see that distraction was from you. So this battery box used to have a tab like that on both sides. This tab got ground down to fit around the curve of the 65 core support. This one we cut completely off. We originally had the box a little bit lower, so that's why it's trimmed a little bit more there. And then he built this support to go from there to here to put, like, I can move the suspension with that. It's good. And then there used to be a piece that poked up about that high. He cut that off because that went to the factory inner fender. He cut that off, and then he was able to put this back in the factory location there. This tab doesn't work, but like, yeah, there's a little bit of play there, but it ain't gonna go nowhere. I did push this AC line over just a tiny bit and trim the back here just for my own precaution, because I didn't want there to be a problem. But there we go, inner fender's mounted, battery box is done, the battery fits great. This is some contraption that was done before when I bought the car. Yes, I'm going to fix that. I don't approve of those, but hey, but yeah, look, let's get some tools out of the way here and do a nice overview. Look at that. Doesn't that look freaking sweet? Like, everything about this project is just so awesome. Like, you stand back and it just looks like it's supposed to be there. Like, what was Ford thinking? They should have made a retro truck on a Crown Vic from the factory. Like, they fit so darn well. Anyways, yeah, so that is how I mounted that. So I'm to move on to the next thing. Well, I made a ton of progress in here. And first off that you can see is I sprayed red oxide primer in the wheel wells. I was trying to find some paint that would match good. And it was my dad's idea to find some red oxide, so he went and picked up a can, and yeah, I beat it up a lot, which I'm gonna beat it up some more, but at a quick glance, it looks great. Sprayed some on the back also to to cover up the, oh my gosh, you get it, hatch panels. Also, this brace here, I decided to cut it out. I just didn't see any real reason why it needed to be there. Yes, on the pickup, I fully understand that's the main support. But on this, I just didn't, it was just in the way. It didn't make sense to me. So I cut it all out and seam sealed everything up, capped off both those spots there, seam sealed everything, put some red oxide primer in there. After I clean all of this, I think it's going to turn out awesome. Also, got the seat mounts made. I am using that bench seat out of a 79. I gotta find a seat cover. What I'm thinking on the seat cover is I seen an Indian blanket that was like grayish and white stripes and maybe some black stripes with like an outline of red. I thought that would look super sweet as a seat cover in this, because I'm not painting this truck. It's just going to be my shop truck. I am going to come in here and clean up the doors and the dash and polish them and try to just revive this old paint as much as I can, because I do want the interior to be really nice. But on the outside, I'm just going to wash it up really good and leave it just like this. Also, I got the wiring harness put back in the truck. So what I did was, let's go take a look. The harness, there's a few different harnesses. There's an engine harness and then a couple different body harnesses. I took the body harness out that had all the wires going to the doors and the back of the car. And what I cut out was I completely deleted all the wires that went to the rear doors, deleted the airbag system, some of the mirrors. I left the door locks because, I'll explain that in a minute. I left the door locks and power going to the windshield, or the electric windows. But all that wiring right there is all the wiring that I pulled out of that harness. So I cut it all down, de-pinned some of it, ended up just cutting some of the other stuff that I didn't need to de-pin. And then I got it down to all the basics that I need. So on the passenger side, we have speaker wires going to the back. And then my car happens to have rear ABS. So I found some little grommets and hooked up ABS wires there. This side, the driver's side, we have wires going back to the ABS, the fuel pump, which I haven't cleaned up those yet. I've only stopped there. So everything from there forward looks real nice. This stuff is not finished. But one other thing I did was on the back of the car, it had a fuel pump control module. I cut the harness open and de-pinned a couple wires so I could unravel it and get it moved back where I wanted. And I have the fuel pump module inside the cab now because I don't believe that's going to be weatherproof. So I wanted it in the cab. I still need to hook up my ground. I'm just going to run a ground down there. Yeah, so I still have, what am I trying to say? So all the wires are packed up in the dash. Yes, I did cut out a lot of wires, but there's still a lot of wiring to try to pack behind this little dash. As you can see there, it did tuck up really nice, which is awesome. What am I trying to say? They're like these wires here that you can see, the ones that still have the tape on them that are labeled. Those will end up going in the doors. And I'm going to take the door lock actuator out of the Crown Vic doors and put in these doors. So then I can use the factory key fob to be able to lock and unlock the doors. Another thing that I thought would be really cool is, and I kept the wiring in it and the little control box to do so, is on the Crown Vic, it had on the outside of the door where you could, the keypad that you could push the buttons to unlock the doors. So I thought if I could do a nice job, it would be really cool to put it right there. I thought that would be sweet to be able to lock and unlock my door on a 65 Ford from the outside by just pushing some buttons. Anyways, I left the wiring in there for that. We'll see if I get to that. I'm sure I will, because I'm going to put the electric windows in this, and I want the electric door locks. Yeah, want some of the modern stuff in there. So, what else did I do? Yeah, I think that's it. It's a lot of work, a ton of work that I crammed into obviously 6 minutes now worth of talking. But so the next thing I'm gonna do is grab the old carpet out of the Crown Vic. I do want black carpet in there, but for now I'm just gonna vacuum up the carpet that's this same color and put in there. Plus it has all the factory sound deadener and stuff like that, which is super awesome. So I'm gonna lay that in there, trim around the seat mounts, cut it right at the back there, and see what it looks like then. Well, that's gonna be awesome. So I went ahead and threw the seat in while I was at it. And that's not the blanket that I'm going to use. This one I snatched from my wife. But my thought is I'm going to recover this, or just a throw over blanket. Same design, but where the tan is like a grayish color. And then where the pink is red. I think it would match the interior really nice. I think it would look super awesome. Like I said before, I don't love the tan carpet, but hey, it's what I got for now. I'm actually planning on driving this thing. I don't know how many miles it is, but it's just over 2.5 hours south of here. In how many days is that? Today's Sunday, 5 days. In 5 days, I'm planning on driving it with my dirt bike in the back, going south for a ride. And this is what it looks like. No bed. Haven't taken it for a good drive yet. The bed's not even cut down yet. Interior's not finished. But hey, it's just part of the game. It's just fun stuff. So, I really love the carpet fitment. I really like the carpet fitment. This stuff down here, my thought is I'm gonna find some aluminum that's like, I don't know, this wide or so, and have it come up like yay, and go, I think I'll bring it up to like here and bend it around to hold the edge of the carpet down like that. I think it looks sweet. And it doesn't necessarily even have to be aluminum. I thought aluminum because then I could polish it, but at the same time, I'd be fine with just a flat piece of steel that I painted it black. I think it would look great. But the next thing on the agenda is, in the last video, you guys had seen that I had mounted my gauges. Well, I've had them in and out a few times because I actually had to reclock the windshield wiper motor. When I mounted that, it was down a little, and so when you would turn the wipers off, the wiper was up here and not where I wanted it. And then when the wiper would start, it would go down and then over. Well, I needed its resting position to be in the lowest spot possible. So like technically I can adjust that down a touch, but yeah. Anyways, so let me get to the bezel. So we got bezel here, factory 65 bezel. How I modified this, well, I haven't done anything to it yet, to be honest, except for take it apart. But me and my dad were talking and thinking, this piece right here, minus the little plastic welded on spot there that I'm gonna do some adjustments on, this is the factory piece that goes up against the gauges like so on the factory Crown Vic dash bezel. So we cut it down, my dad cut it down, and it fits very nicely right in there. So I'm not even gonna glue that thing. So when I put it on there, it hides the holes, except it's not really hiding the holes too well because, as you can see, we can't push it in all the way. I need to file this down. I need to sand it down. so then it'll fit tight. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I'm going to just use some 80 grit on a DA and see how well that works. We'll see what happens. So I'm sure it'll take about 40 times of putting it in and out before it actually gets it to fit right. But I'm gonna go ahead and do that, set you guys on a camera, and we're gonna get to work. Ta-da! There we go. Looks super awesome. Except I had an oops, and now what did I do with the oops? So my son dropped this panel right after I pulled it out of the truck and broke it right there, and then of course I was being not very good, dropped it and broke that. Well, my dad repaired that one, and it might not have been hot enough. Anyways, it popped out, but not a big deal. We'll repair it. But there we go. That is it. I don't know if you guys can see that. This little spot there, I'm gonna heat it up and push it back in. But check out that fitment. Looks awesome. I'm gonna put a little light on there. Look at that. We're talking about the fitment here. Super awesome. Super, super awesome. So now I'm gonna pull it out. I'm gonna file this here so it fits a little better. Push that back in so it fits better. And then I'm gonna mask it right on this line around here and paint this whole inside area black. The outside, I'm not really sure what I'm gonna do. And honestly, I may not even gonna do that right this second, cause that needs to be repaired. But yeah, anyways, that's what I'm gonna do, and it looks super awesome. I absolutely love it. I really, really, really like it a whole lot. Well, that will be it for this video. Once again, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for the continued support. I appreciate it so very much. I hope you guys enjoy the process. This thing is coming together like, honestly, like they're meant to be. I absolutely love it. Don't forget to check out the next video. We get the bed put on this thing and get to pull it outside and see what it looks like for the first time. So that's super exciting. Yeah, anyways, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, everything that everybody else tells you to do. And once again, thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.